Next up on the Run That Back podcast, we have the conversation that I know a lot of y'all have been thinking about. We're going to get right into it. Who had the better debut album, Nas, Illmatic, or Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt? Let's dive into it. Scorpio Mo.
See, Boogie.
Run That Back podcast. Let's get it. First of all, I am Scorpio. This is the Run That Back podcast. In today's conversation, we are talking about who had the better debut album, Nas's Illmatic or Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt. Just thinking about this, this is debuts. So it's like your best foot forward. You got your one shot. You've been leading up to this in your freestyles, possibly mixtapes, however you were coming across before you had a record deal. Now that you got it, it's your debut. It's your debut album. And the reason why these two guys are interesting, because obviously everyone's familiar with the battle that they had and the back and forth. And then obviously now how they turn out. Great businessmen, by the way. But we're strictly talking about the debut album. We're not talking about the battle.
Nope.
We're not talking about commercial or business success. We're just talking about strictly who had the better debut album. So let's get into it. All right,
Yeah, so with Illmatic,
what years?
Illmatic came out in 94.
Mm-hmm.
Reasonable Doubt came out in 96.
Mm-hmm.
With Illmatic, there were 10 tracks. With Reasonable Doubt, there was 14.
Mm-hmm.
So we've done this before where, if you've seen the previous episode, it was Off the Wall versus Thriller. Surprise, surprise, it came in as a tie. But with Illmatic and Reasonable Doubt, you have a clash of styles. You have a clash of realness. You have a clash of realness when I say you have a hustler's realness compared to
Would you say bystander?
Yeah, casual. I would say a person who is aware of the realities around him, who is just reporting the realities around him, compared to somebody who was involved in their particular quote unquote line of work. And then you have someone who can mimic a bunch of styles. You have someone who's just been straightforward.
But how do you feel about debuts though? Do you feel like your debut has to be like, this is everyone's probably best effort?
Yeah, I would agree. They say your debut album.
I mean, obviously there's no effort before it. That's why this is your debut.
Right.
But you, meaning your best effort, you gave it your all. You poured it all out. You laid it all out, because it's win, lose, or draw. And would you say your contribution, your writing, you've been living up to this point?
Yeah, they say your debut, it takes your whole life to reflect in your debut. So that's your whole life up to that point.
Then does that mean experience, or that just means talent up it? What could that mean?
Well, I think it means experience. Your talent, and talent as well.
You see what I'm saying?
I got you. Because I mean, when you're young, you're burgeoning talent. Somebody tells you, "Yo, you got."
How much could you live up to 24 years old? You see what I'm saying? Like,
True,
how much life do you have? So, what is it? Experience, or life experience, or is it talent up until that point?
I think it's both, because if you think about it, I would say, New York is relatively different than many places in the world, but you talk to a New York 16-year-old and you talk to an Atlanta 16-year-old, and you will see a wide difference, I guarantee.
Then
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, the gap has gotten a lot closer with social media.
I mean, we're not counting. I mean, like
I got
you got to think about this point. I'm not talking about like right now, but if you talk to a teenager in New York back then compared to a teenager in Atlanta, worlds apart.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So it's like you have the two of them. Of course, well, Nas was working on his.
Because there might be a 5-year difference between the guys.
Yeah, well, Nas was working on his.
No, just age-wise.
Age-wise, yeah. Jay was born in '69, and Nas was born, I think, 72, 73?
I think 73 or 74. I think 73.
Yeah, he was 19 in '94, so 5 years. Yeah, there's a 5-year difference.
Yeah.
So yeah, Nas was a teenager. Jay was basically a grown man, but when it comes to MCs, there's really no. There's no like, oh, he's a kid, man, unless he's like, 10, 11 years old. But once you cross that threshold of, 18, 19, it's like you rhyming with, you all grown men rhyming. It's the best of styles, clash of styles, experience, all other type of stuff. So as I stated before, you have somebody who was involved in something, and you have somebody who was a reporter of the realities around.
Okay.
What about you?
All of it, exactly what you just said. I just think that, Nas got ahead, as far as albums concerned, I think Nas had obviously he had a 2-year head start on the album. But Jay-Z had 5 years experience over Nas, age-wise. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at that point, to me, it evens out. Like, Nas was expected to be the golden child. Jay wasn't even expected.
True.
It's not like, Jay had the live from the barbecue verse. He didn't have that verse. Even though he had verses out. Kane's album, what's the guys, Can I Get Open, I forget the brother's name. Forgive me, y'all. Forgive me. Original Flavor.
Yeah, Original Flavor.
Yeah, he had the Original Flavor verse. So it's still fair. You know what I'm saying? Because neither of them, but by the time by the time Jay does that, Nas is already on the illmatic. I mean, as far as he's already expected, like, who's this guy? Yeah. Now, Jay was around, but he didn't have a verse to set him up, or the anticipation of, okay, this guy, and then there's the Zebrahead soundtrack, and then the verse on Kick 'Em in the Grill, on the MC Search. So Nas is building and expected to be, and there's a buzz in New York City amongst producers at the time. That's how he was able to get these guys, and together, as far as, the Pete Rocks, the Premiers, so on and so forth, Q-Tip, and then, of course, Large Professor.
But then you also got to think about it, since there is a 5-year age gap, while Nas was dropping his debut LP and, doing all his industry stuff, whatever, Jay was doing what he was doing.
Yeah, this is, like, once again, it's like we were talking about talent and experience, life experience. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So Jay may have more of a life experience to write about, more than maybe. But you see, I feel like this. So you got Kane, who kind of at some point took Jay-Z up under his wing, tried to get him signed. It didn't happen. But then you have Kool G Rap, who kind of did the same thing with Nas. I don't know if he was on the road, because, what's the name, wasn't that big of a talent-wise, a big hip-hop figure, but he wasn't on tours and big tours like that Kool G Rap, where, where Nas could get his stuff off, and, in front of these big crowds like Kane was doing, with bringing Jay-Z on tour, I think Chocolate City tour, and maybe another tour with him and Positive K, where Kane would, do an intermission, change clothes. He would let these guys come out and get their shit off. Yeah. So but then you got someone like I said, Nas, Cool G Rap, and then using the same producer as Large Professor. Extra P is doing stuff for Rakim, but he's letting Nas on Rakim's time, by the way, from what I understand, letting Eric B hear Nas and be like, yo, what you think of this? And he's like, yo, that kind of thing. So you're getting a nod from your, one of the guys who influenced you. So it's this thing going on, and Kane is over there with, with the Brooklyn thing with Jay. So it's just interesting to come up. But then you got coming out, it's Nas's debut album, Illmatic, 1994. And, we don't tap too much into numbers, but at the end of it, numbers didn't do what people expected it to do. But the word was out. The word was definitely out on this guy, and did you hear this? And he's the, all these great things, because he's like the next guy. You gotta think, before Nas, who would you say was that guy in New York? There was a gap for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it was a gap. To me, there was a throne that was kind of like, I don't want to say abandoned, but it just, no one appointed anyone in that particular seat at the time and was looking, because you're still coming off the heels of the Kanes, the Rakims, who've kind of gone cold, as far as this is the guy.
Well, here's the thing. This came out in '94. It went double platinum. But
eventually.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it went off the rip, because it didn't. But you have to understand, this is after the Chronic. This is after the West Coast.
This is why I said New York was cold.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. This came in, so it was kind of like a
shift.
I would say a reset button.
Okay.
Because Nas was looked at, or this album was looked at as somewhat of a reset, going back to traditional beats, rhymes. Nobody really cared about the numbers at the time, but they were just listening to what he was saying, and just, people from New York was like, oh, New York State of Mind. It just gave that project feel, that gritty,
something to rally behind. Because this seat's been vacant for a minute, or just that energy of getting behind someone.
Right, because the Chronic came in.
You can get behind Snoop over there. You see what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, you had a whole coast behind.
Yeah, it was
Snoop.
Behind a movement.
Right.
But you got to still keep in mind, Big comes out the same year.
This is true. Now that's where you have. Big comes in with lyrics. He comes in with Puffy's marketing, as far as like,
I think
we're rhyming over 80s old school beats. Not to mention, what's the train of thought? Big introduced. I wouldn't say introduced, but there's a lifestyle rap.
Thank you. That's what I was getting at. But that's marketing.
Right.
So it was like bigger than just. And not only had that, but he had the guy with the bullhorn saying, "Check out my man."
Right. He had a mouthpiece talking for him.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. There was, okay, you go gold, we're doing a party.
Yeah.
You go platinum, we're doing a party.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He had that thing behind him.
Yeah, I think Nas's marketing was more traditional. It was.
Well, no one was quiet. No one was thinking about that. Like not like that. The most you get was a poster on the thing and maybe a freestyle on the radio, but no one was.
But he wasn't flashy either.
Nah, but
he wasn't saying, "Look at me."
No, but Big wasn't saying that. He had somebody saying it for him.
But that's what I'm saying. Nas wasn't the "look at me." Neither was Big, but Big had somebody like, this is my man. This is the dude. Look at him. Check him out. Mm-hmm. Listen. And so you have somebody drawing all this attention away.
Big's live at the barbecue was partying bullshit.
Yeah.
On the Who's the Man soundtrack. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So before Nas's album comes out now.
Yeah.
So they both had their moment, but then you got this other guy who comes in, and nobody's expecting this. Nobody, as we see now, there were a couple attempts to drop a single or two that he had. I can't get with this and da da da. You understand? Jay-Z style. At the time, Nas drops Illmatic. It's still jigga the A, jigga the Y, jigga the Z. You see what I'm saying? It's still that.
Yeah. So
I just want people to keep in mind, like when you're doing the timeline on this, who was doing what at what time.
Yeah, because Jay-Z, his was a slow burn, because nobody paid attention until Ain't No Nigga.
Right.
So, and then from there, because just looking at some stats, the highest Illmatic got on the U.S. Billboard 200 was number 12. The highest Jay-Z's Reasonable Doubt was 23. Nas went number 1 on the R&B hip hop chart, and Jay-Z was number 3. So, here's the thing. In rap, time is your biggest, it goes two ways. Time is your biggest helper or your biggest negative factor.
Correct, for you or against you. That's why people push albums back when they hear somebody else's coming through, and it's like, oh, let me fall back, or let me, a release dates get adjusted.
Yeah. Because you got to realize, 94 was a big year. So Nas came out. Biggie came out.
This was the changing of the guard year. This was
for I would say for East Coast, it's a changing, because like I said, after the Chronic.
No, well, Snoop came out in '94.
Was it 93 or 94?
94.
Okay.
But Doggy Style, you see what I'm saying?
I understand, what I'm saying is the Chronic came out before that. So that
it was already shifting over there.
Right. But 2 years in hip hop could mean like a lifetime anywhere else. Two years is the difference between bum stickety ickety and a regular.
Because the average career in hip hop is like 5 to 7 years.
Yeah, you got 2 shots. You got your debut and you got your sophomore. And if nothing pops off after that sophomore album, it's going to be a hard hill for you to climb to get back into the good graces of a hip hop consumer, because styles change, music changes. That's how you go from boom bap to trap.
This is what Jay-Z had on Nas on just even the first single alone compared to Nas's first single. Is that Jay-Z was in the club.
Well, yeah, he was in the club.
Ain't no was in the club. So Illmatic wasn't in the club like that. So that's the jump start already. So if you get in the club, you're on the mix shows, in different markets, it's that kind of thing. He had this girl who's a feature, so now you got the women's ear. Nas had nothing for the ladies on
anything.
On anything. He had a message with Black Girl Lost, but that wasn't like, you see what I'm saying?
Right. But that wasn't even on this
but
album.
I'm just saying he had nothing to offer. Even Jay had at least a response on the same song. He had a verse, she had a verse, they had a verse together. Right. So the ladies got involved early.
But here's the other thing. Just like I said, Nas released, there was 5 songs released off of Illmatic, right?
They really was pushing
Halftime, It Ain't Hard to Tell, Life's a Bitch, The World Is Yours, One Love.
Well, Halftime was kind of...
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, debuts, you throw out a tester, see how...
But that was on the Zebrahead soundtrack. They just transferred that over to the...
Either way, they thought that was going to
promote the album. 2 years before.
But Jay-Z only had 3 singles. Ain't No Nigga with Foxy, Can't Knock the Hustle, as you stated, with Women, Mary, and Feelin', that had another female vocal in it. So I'm not sure if that was the case, but Rockefeller found a way to include women, if they were listening, found a way to get women involved, because they had Mary on the hook, they had a female on the hook of Ain't No Nigga, they had a female on the hook of Feelin' It. So there's some, we're grabbing a little bit.
They can get involved in the record.
Right.
Whether they're singing the hook, whether they're doing Foxy's verse,
Right.
because basically ain't no it's a call and response, right?
Exactly.
You know, for both genders, like the guys in the club can sing Jay-Z's verse, all the women in the club can sing Foxy's verse. You know what I'm saying? And then it's all Foxy, basically. It's minority of Foxy on the hook.
Yeah. And then we Can't Knock the Hustle. You got Mary on there basically singing My Life. You know, with the My Life runs on there. So it's something
and we'll get
they
into
heard before. But I mean, we can get into
We'll get into each song and kind of touch on some things. Because I think the features help too. Nas had one feature.
But that feature
And that
was
feature,
a monster.
It was
That feature
incredible. It was all Jay-Z's features combined, Big and Mary, and Fox.
Yeah.
That's how powerful AZ's feature was. But go ahead.
Right. But yeah, let's get into the track listing. Okay, so I guess we can do this like we did the Mike Jack thing, right? But here's the thing. Illmatic has 10 tracks, technically 9, because one of them is like a skit. Reasonable Doubt has 14.
Mm-hmm.
So
It is what it is.
it is what it is. So track for track. The first track on Illmatic is the Genesis. That is basically a skit, 2 dudes or a couple of dudes talking about, you know, done language, whatever.
It's a very Queens intro.
Yeah, very Queens. The first one from Reasonable Doubt is Can't Knock the Hustle, as we stated.
So he opens up with Mary. Like, he comes in swinging.
He's not dumb.
He comes in swinging with a feature that Mary didn't even necessarily like. Like, she thought she could do it over. They was like, nah, it's good.
She liked that cash.
It was 10,000 right then and there. It was a friend of Dame that knew her, and comes in. She cleans it, and from what I understand, she was a little high. Thought she could do better, but I just assumed that they were just so happy
that they got
that
married.
they got a married track, and you know.
Yeah, we're gonna get everything that we can out of this one thing.
Yeah,
we can't,
ain't no come
start
back,
coming
because you might can't get you back
exactly
tomorrow or whatever day. Yeah,
exactly. The second song on Illmatic, New York State of Mind.
Now this is where the beat. This is Premiere, correct?
This is Premiere.
Rappers are monkey flipping with the words, with the funky rhythm. Oh my God! Like Nas he goes off. So for this to be the first song where he's really rhyming, Nas goes off. You can't. This is pure lyricism at its finest.
Lyricism and
The beat is.
if you've never been to New York, you will feel like a New Yorker listening to this song, because as soon as it comes on, the beat,
the grittiness,
you can already see the smoke coming from the manhole and the sidewalk, going down to the subway to take the train, or just walking up a New York City block.
It's one of them, man.
That's where you got your coat on, hood on, and you just trooping it up to wherever you got to go. But this is definitely a environmental song that puts you in a place where you need to be.
That part.
The second song off Reasonable Doubt is Politics as Usual.
Listen, like, okay, now here's Jay going, like, I think Premier did this.
No, Ski.
Yeah, what's the name? The friend of all right, cool. But Ski does this, right? And you can hear the jazziness of this album, which I didn't even pick up until maybe a couple years after the album, because the album came out in '96. It wasn't until a couple years I had interviewing, and he was like going for a jazz. That's the sound they were, and when I tell you, he captured it throughout the whole album. Really, not every song, but a lot of songs. It's more artistic beat-wise than I thought.
Yeah, I was gonna say the album as a whole, very, people don't talk about it, but it's very musical.
Yeah,
It's
but on a
very melodic.
jazzy musical.
Yeah, it's very melodic driven, but you gotta be able to,
Right.
you know, catch what they're putting down, because like the samples that were used were very some classic, some offbeat that were made classic.
But even the stuff he was saying,
Yeah,
like relationships with people, the politics of, you know, this wasn't just a rhyming record.
he's giving
Just
you,
here, just the, oh man, I'm trying to remember some of the lines, but just how poetic and how he breaks stuff down, and his Jay-Z's rap, especially at this time, were very conversational.
yeah, because he's telling you,
And he feels like this is a man that sat down in the car, a jazz instrumental happened to be playing, and he's having a conversation with you, and the words just happen to be rhyming.
yeah, and he's telling you his life or his experiences at this point, up to that point.
Right.
You know, like I said, we all know what he did, but he's giving you the which he did on the album. He gives you the duality of it. It's I would also say this is another lifestyle another lifestyle album, but a different a look at the lifestyle before you get to the club.
A more responsible point of view of it.
If you would like to call what he used to do, if you would like to call him an ethical salesman.
But even his approach to the lifestyle and what he's doing is like, he's responsible enough with it to show you that it's more than one dimension. It's more than just the flash and the bottles of Cristal.
Exactly.
There's consequences, there's damaged relationships, there's the fighting with yourself about how you feel about certain things. So yeah.
But you know what? So we haven't even started yet. So just okay. So track 1, the Genesis. Track 1, Illmatic, Reasonable Doubt. Can't Knock the Hustle or the Genesis. Which one?
Oh, we're doing it like that.
Yeah, because remember,
Can't Knock the Hustle.
Okay, and then New York State of Mind, Politics as Usual.
New York State of Mind.
Okay, so we're 2 for 2. So it's a tie. Third track, Life's a Bitch with AZ, Brooklyn's Finest with Biggie.
This is the effed up part. This is
2 features.
This is the effed up part. You know, because hearing the story so many times about how the song came about.
Which one?
Brooklyn's Finest.
Okay.
You know, peep the style in the way the cop sweaters, the only vendettas is can the fest catch. You know, got vendettas and dice. Oh my God. But
Realizing reality.
listen, you don't get a better debut verse than Nas. As much as I like Reasonable Doubt, Brooklyn's Finest, and it got big on it. You know, Jay had part of that verse already. The song was called No More Mr. Nice Guy.
Right.
That's why he said No More Mr. Nice Guy, twist the shit the fuck back with the pistols blazing hot like haze. How did it even hold to work in the days in the New York place outside? Get up out of there. Fuck the ride. Woo! Which I thought was dope. Once again, he's telling you it's not all glamour. If you're out of town and you're in the Days Inn and you're selling work out there and you got New York plates, you can't get more descriptive than that. It's like you understand what that is.
There's already eyes on you.
Yeah, so, but just to be fair, the AZ has the best debut verse, coming out verse. He didn't have a record deal. And he killed it, man. You can't take that away. And are we just talking about the songs or are we rating at this point?
No, just which one?
Oh, we're just going which one. You gotta give it to AZ. You gotta give it to Lifestyle. You can't front. I don't care if you're a super B.I.G. fan. You can't front on that verse.
Like you said, that man did not have a record deal, but he took complete advantage. Now this is if MCs, if you are trying to get a record deal,
Back then.
Back then. Yeah, I'd say even now.
Well,
your
no.
verse better. What I'm saying is, if you were trying to get, well, actually, yeah, it doesn't count now because you can put your own stuff out wherever from your bedroom, whatever. But back then, you had to outshine. And AZ, I cannot front. AZ took the mic, blazed it, left it.
He kind of did what Nas did on Live in the Barbecue.
Exactly.
Maybe even better.
It was definitely better. He pulled a Nas on Nas.
Right. Like that flow is flawless. Like
non-stop.
For the salary. Woo!
And I can't front. I'm a big fan, and I saw this list. And I was like, ooh.
You know, you got a Brooklyn guy getting busy on the Queens guy's track. Ooh. And what is that? Yearning for your love sample?
Yes. Do.
We didn't get high. I want to say that's AZ's hook too.
Probably is because like I said, that
because you
song.
never know when you gotta go.
Yeah.
Woo! That was a bigger statement than Brooklyn's Finest. You gotta give it up. I'm going with AZ on that. Gotta get there.
Yeah, me too. So.
Gotta get the Nas. It's Nas'
Right.
song.
Right now it's 2-1, Illmatic. The fourth song off of Illmatic. Everybody knows this one. The World Is Yours.
Man.
Number 4 on Reasonable Doubt. Dead Presidents 2.
I ain't gonna hold you. Here's the thing, because there's a remix to what's the name?
Dead Presidents 2?
No.
The World Is Yours?
But that is the World Is Yours. Yeah. Yeah. The remix. The Pete Rock remix. But I ain't gonna hold you. Dead Presidents to me, because I heard Dead Presidents and Ain't No same time. I want to say it's the B-side. It was on a Clue tape, and it was both of them on there. And when I heard, I was like, of the whole Bill Cosby line. You say you want money like Cosby, who wouldn't? But that kind of talk made me think you ain't really got no pudding. And just the whole, you know, because the video comes to mind, helicopter landing, they hop in the GS, you know, lifestyle. But here's the tricky part, because you got Nas going against Nas. You see what I'm saying? You got Nas on the hook, which is a strong hook. Everybody knows that hook. So that's kind of like that. Yeah. And it's kind of like the cheat code. And it's like, even though you know, it's like, damn, we're saying Nas against Nas basically, in the sense, because when you talk to Ski, when you hear interviews on Ski, that's inspired by Nas. Not just the hook, the song. He wanted to get a song like Nas's song. I think he said at Jack the Rapper. He heard cars playing. He was like, yo, I gotta do a song that got that feel.
Well, he captured that feel for me because The World Is Yours is cool, but the one thing that always bothered me about The World Is Yours is Pete Rock being on the hook. Whose world is it? That even though I listened to it, that just
that might be the handicap of that record. Yeah, but I'm going with Dead Presidents.
So am I, because musically, that track is. There's videos just on the track, not even Jay speaking, just talking about the track alone. Crazy.
Yeah.
All right. The next song off Illmatic is Halftime. The next song off Reasonable Doubt is Feeling It, featuring Mecca. You already know where I'm going.
It's Feeling It for me. What?
Same for me.
Shot a video to that.
Correct.
The problem with Nas's Halftime, at this point, it's already 2 years old. I think they just used it in the Feeling the album. I don't think the song was necessary for that. I really don't. I would have rather heard something else. The fact that it was already on the Zebra soundtrack that came out in '92. So at that point, I don't want to say it was dated, but it wasn't necessary. Like, you didn't need that. You really didn't need that. You could have left that where it was at.
If that's the case, you could have put Live at the Barbecue on there as well.
But
You know what I'm
you
saying?
could have put a whole lot of it.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was necessary. And Columbia did the soundtrack, so I think they were lazy at that part. And I don't know if Nas had to hurry up and turn in his album or whatever it is. I just think it was a bullshit effort on Columbia's part to put that record on
The 6th track. It's DJ Premier versus DJ Premier. We have Memory Lane off of Illmatic and The Evils.
there. Okay, here's the thing. The Memory Lane, I like the song.
I like Memory Lane as well.
The problem with Jay's content on The Evils is one of my favorite records. It slows down the album just a little bit. The problem is his content is better than Nas's content on Memory Lane. But not really. Because Memory Lane is, now think about it, you gotta think about the stuff that he's talking about. That's what's the name? What up, kid? I know rough doing your bid. No.
That's the good dear God. I wonder can you say it?
No, I'm talking about Nas.
Oh, Nas Memory Lane?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it's the introduction to Kwamega. What's up, Kwamega? Did you see him? Are y'all together?
Yeah.
You know, and it's this letter, right? Because it's the letter. So it's like, that was dope. It's before someone even did it their mama. Let's be clear with that. Somebody else, he wrote a letter to his own boys. That's what the song was. You know, what up, kid? I know it's rough doing your bid. When the cops came, you should have slid to my crib. Fucking black, no time for looking back. It's done. Plus, congratulations. I know you got a son. Heard you. Ooh. Because I really like the Evils because of the message. Oh man, that's the toughest one. I ain't gonna hold you. That's the toughest one. I really like the Evils because we used to fight for building blocks. Now we fight for buildings to make $1 million. Ooh, but then again, you know, he didn't learn, so I kidnapped his baby mother. I ran my hand around the collar, filling the cheese. She said the taste was shitty, so I gave her what? Just ew.
It's about the mishaps.
Okay, I'll put it this way. I like the production better on. No, before I give you my answer.
Okay.
I love the production on Memory Lane. What Jay's talking about on The Evils is the realest stuff ever. And I just love what he's saying. Can we do a tie?
No.
I'm gonna go with The Evils. Oh.
I'm going with Memory Lane.
Illuminati, and then they got the Prodigy. They got the Prodigies. You know, you got the Snoop. Dear God, I wonder can Illuminati to my mind, soul, and my that's tough.
This one might be easy. One Love versus.
No, correction. I'm sorry. One Love is the letter to his people. What up? I know y'all about to kill me on that. I am so sorry. One Love. I'm done. Now it's definitely Jay-Z's. I got my bad. I got confused with One Love is the letter, and One Love remix is dope.
Okay.
That's what I'm sorry. I know y'all hip hop heads is going to kill. And I'm gonna be honest with you. Normally we do listen, but I know Nas is. Well, obviously I slipped on this one, but I know Nas and I'm the Illmatic and Reasonable Doubt. I didn't listen. And I ain't gonna lie. I listen to Reasonable Doubt at least once a month. Damn it.
Okay. So which? Okay. So which?
I'm
one
still.
you pick?
It's
Okay,
still
so
the Evils.
Okay.
It's still. Wait. Even more so now.
Okay, so the 7th track off Illmatic is One Love. The 7th track off Reasonable Doubt is 22 Twos.
One Love.
I agree. One Love as well.
That the 22 Twos is the you got the little skit with Maria Davis on Mad Wednesdays.
Yep.
And,
Yep.
yeah, can I kick it? Nah, I'm cool.
Number 8 is One Time for Your Mind. Off illmatic. Number 8, Can I Live?
Cannot.
Can
It's
I
not
Live?
even a question.
It's not even a question.
This is the Isaac Hayes sample. Woo!
Yep. The 9th track, Represent. Off illmatic, off Reasonable Doubt, Ain't No Nigga. Ain't no nigga.
That's what set it off.
I got it. The last track on illmatic, It Ain't Hard to Tell. The 10th track, Friend or Foe.
The Ain't Hard to Tell remix is ill. The Human Nature sample. Friend or Foe is one long verse, but clever, funny, entertaining.
Sarcastic as shit.
Yeah, that's Jay all the way through. I like it, but I gotta keep it real. I gotta. As much as I like Friend or Foe, I just think it's a clever, witty. You know, you coming into town and you real life situations that if you weren't in it, you were very close to it. You know what I mean? You were very close to it to even think to do that. So I'm going with Nas.
I'm going with Jay, Friend or Foe.
I love the beat. Ooh, Friend or Foe, yo, stage. Woo.
State your biz. The last 4 tracks on Reasonable Doubt, Coming of Age with Memphis Bleak,
Cool.
Cashmere Thoughts.
Ah, another one. Doom, 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 doom. You know.
Bring It On. I like the track. I don't like Sauce Money and Jazz, Big Jazz on it. And then Regrets.
Once again, one of those songs where the album, you can see it tails off a little bit, you know,
After Coming of Age.
Yeah. But so to me, at that point, the album does even out because he doesn't really have much bangers after that. Good songs, but nothing banging.
Well, we can't count anything past track 10.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's where it gets a little iffy.
Yeah. So just to recap again.
And I'm sorry, I know y'all Nas fans gonna kill me. I don't know how. My bad, y'all.
Okay. So recapping, we're gonna go through one more time. So the Genesis, Can't Knock the Hustle. Jay, right? All right. Politics as Usual versus New York State of Mind. Nas. Brooklyn's Finest versus Life's a Bitch. Nas. The World Is Yours.
And Nas that was a tough one, I ain't gonna lie. That might have been the toughest one.
The World Is Yours, Dead Presidents 2, Jay. So we're tied. Feeling It versus Halftime, Jay. The Evils versus Memory Lane. You picked the Evils. I picked Jay. So actually, that's
You are 4 to 3, 4 to 2.
4 to 3. Wait, Can't Knock the Hustle.
Right.
Dead Presidents.
Right.
New York State of Mind.
Right.
Life's a Bitch. Okay. Feeling It. All right. Then we got you picked the Evils.
Yeah.
I picked Memory Lane. Okay. 4 to 3. Okay. One Love. 22 Twos. We both picked One Love, correct?
Mm-hmm.
All right. One Time for Your Mind versus Can I Live? Can I Live?
That's 6, right?
That's 5 to 4.
Okay.
Represent, Ain't No Nigga.
6.
That's 6.
6 to 4.
And then Friend or Foe versus It Ain't Hard to Tell.
That's 5 to
7
6.
to 5.
7 to there it is.
Reasonable Doubt over.
And I think timing had a lot to do with it. Let me say that. And the other thing is that because mind you, this is a 2-year difference.
Mm-hmm.
I will go on the record to say that Nas's Illmatic inspired A Reasonable Doubt. Because when Nas was rapping on Illmatic and the way Jay was rapping, and you could see the songs with the dates on them and all this stuff that he was doing with Clark Kent, wasn't rapping like that. And then when Ski comes back and wants to give you this sound, you build the album around this sound.
Yeah, it's a cohesive. Reasonable Doubt is, from a sonic standpoint, is more of a cohesive project than getting every hot New York producer at the time to get on your album, because not that everything should sound the same, but nothing.
Because it was Ski and Premier, right? That was it, right?
Ski, Premier, Jazz produced Ain't No Nigga, and Clark Kent
right.
did Brooklyn's Finest and Premier.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, Premier did 1, 2, 3 joints. Clark Kent did 2. Jazz did 1, and then Nobody, Sean Kane, and The Who did Can't Knock the Hustle. But yeah, Ski was the glue that.
And then you got the major label, you got budget versus independent at the time. You see what I'm saying?
But they put that independent money to good.
Nah, they did for you to get Mary J. Blige independently on your debut album is incredible.
Exactly.
And then, you know, I believe he changed his style. He altered. I think he just went with the times. Like, I don't want to say he bit off Nas. I don't want to say, but I would say he was influenced and seeing that's the way to go. It was a changing of the guards. We weren't rapping like that no more. Yeah. You know, and then I would say maybe Big's thing had an influence. You know, because there's stories where I need to tell more of my story. I think when you hear Clark Kent and they're on the road with Junior Mafia and you hear him saying, yo, I got this guy, I got this guy, I got this guy, you know, and he's the next, oh, yo, man, you're like, yo, your man cool, man, he all right, yo, he cool, yo, I'm tired of you keep saying, you know, that kind of thing, you know, but, you know, obviously they became real good friends, and my personal opinion is, I don't want to say Big felt threatened, but it was better to join Jay. He saw what was coming. I heard Big's, the last song Jay ever played for Big was Streets Watch. But even before that, it was like, yo, even Little C's makes a comment. He was like, yo, he knew Jay was coming. He was that dude. He was like, he knew. I think Jay was the better rapper of Big, but he wasn't the better songwriter. Big killed him on songs. Like Big, cause how Big constructs songs was better than Jay did. You can hear it through all Jay's stuff before Big was even there. And Big got better because Big wasn't like, it's like everybody. It's the evolution of an artist. You're gonna get better. You're gonna figure out the formula. And you're gonna go in there, bridge, or da. You're gonna figure out what works for this time, this generation, and songwriting. Not just being the best rapper, but being the best rapper with the best song. And I think that's what Big shined. Because one-on-one, do I think he was a better rapper than Jay-Z? F no. But do I think Big was a better songwriter? Hell yeah. And it's been proven by all the stuff he wrote for Junior Mafia. That was ready to die too. You see what I'm saying? So it was like Big's knowing when to, you know, whether it was constructed by Puff or whoever, he got the song formula down and he knew how to do it.
Yeah, and it took Jay-Z a while to figure out.
So like song. Third album.
Yeah.
You know, he was getting better.
Right.
You know, the second album was like, okay, you know.
Even he said he had to dumb it down. Yeah, and once he started doing that, that's when
that. Learn how to make
songs.
Hooks inside the verses, and he knew where everybody would. That, you know, you got to be a student. You got to understand that. And sometimes somebody needs to show you, or it takes time to get, and you figure out the formula. And by the time, what was it? The Hard Knock Life came out, he got it.
Yeah.
You know, he ain't really looked back. So, you know, my opinion, Jay got it. What we got, 7 to 5?
7 to 5.
What do y'all think, Lord?
I know the hip hop heads are gonna be like, nah, man, nah, this is blah. And some of y'all gonna be like, nah, Reasonable Doubt.
This is
that,
album. We didn't even
blah.
talk about Better Rapper, and you can have your opinion on that. We're not talking about the battle. We're not talking about unit sold. We're just talking about cohesive
Song
project.
for song.
Yeah, song for song on this cohesive project. What did you feel the most?
Yeah.
What and for whatever reason you might. I know all the Queens guys. I already know what y'all gonna say.
So if you wanna, take a hint from us, learn how to sequence your album right.
That's a fact.
That's what people are missing nowadays. Learn how to sequence your album right so every song flows or it does what you want to do, not just throwing songs on there because it sounds good. You want your album to be able to tell your story from beginning to end.
The sequence is just as important as the song, believe it or not.
The sequence is more important than the song because you could have a great song, but if it's somewhere late on the album or if you have a trash song that's early in the album,
they might not even get to it.
Exactly.
Because they heard 3 trash tracks in between or subpar.
Yeah, they heard your filler early thinking, oh, they'll listen just to get to this. Nah, dog. After 3-4 skips.
Right.
It's a
It'd be
wrap.
easy, the intros, like when you do these long intros,
You're killing time.
when that beat drops, it better be a monster.
If it don't make your face scrunch up like you
Yeah,
smell
when it
some
drops.
shit.
So I've noticed that the dudes with the long. I'm like, you're only making it worse for you. The anticipation, you're only making it worse because now you're overselling it because
Right.
we're expecting this big. You got to undersell and over deliver, and I think that's what Jay did, and I think that's what Nas didn't do. They undersold.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? But the expectation was there. They over deliver. I mean, they under delivered. They oversold but under delivered. Technically, I mean, all the hip. I know all the Nas people is going crazy right now. But yeah, that's it, man.
But that's it. Again, Reasonable Doubt 7 to 5.
This is just our opinion.
It's just our opinion. Let us know
But that
yours.
does mean some shit, nigga. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. He does too.
We know what we're talking about. So with that being said, please on Instagram follow the Run That Back Podcast, on Twitter /X the Run That Back Pod 1, on TikTok the Run That Back Podcast 1, on YouTube. Come here, follow us, like, share, comment, subscribe. Help us get our numbers up. We're here for you, the community, the
Help
people.
us help you, help us.
Help us help you, us.
Yeah, we're all in this together. We're all in this together.
We only here to have a good time, man. Just talking shit about music. That's all it is. It's nothing crazy.
Yeah.
But on behalf of the Run That Back Podcast, he is
Scorpio Mo.
I am C Boogie, and this has been Run That Back Podcast.
Yeah.
Run that